It's not normal to feel crazy, irritable, like you want to bite somebody's head off before your period. It's not normal to have those mood changes. And I will tell you though, the most common thing I see in women who are in their cycling phase is defects in that luteal phase, which is the 2 weeks after you ovulate and before you have your period. That's called the luteal phase. That's when progesterone is dominant, right? And it's priming the lining of your uterus for an egg that implanted to grow a baby, right? That's what its job is. And then if that doesn't happen, your hormones both drop, estrogen, progesterone, and then you bleed, and then you start that cycle over. So the first part of the cycle then called the follicular phase is where your estrogen goes up, and then you ovulate, make a bunch of progesterone, and then your progesterone and estrogen are a little higher, and then it drops, okay? So that luteal phase defect is the most common issue I see in women's hormones. As we clean things up, it's the last thing to heal as well. And so if you have that, you just gotta there's this really big component of a vicious loop there. And the vicious loop is because when you have a fungal overgrowth, because you have an imbalance in the bacterial dysbiosis that can't inhibit it, that fungus hijacks your cortisol, which is made by your adrenal glands, and it eventually gets so tired, it'll start stealing from your progesterone pool to make that cortisol to keep your blood sugar so that you pop up your blood sugar because it's dropping, and then your progesterone's low. So what happens is that is a huge piece because your adrenals produce about 25% of your progesterone for daily living, and then you don't have as much when you're making it through the ovulation phase, and so it doesn't pop up as high as it should. So we start to see these hormone imbalances. It's not the only mechanism, but it's so common. And the reason it's so common is because of imbalance in our microbiome secondary to antibiotic use, even 20 years ago antibiotic use, trace antibiotics, and sugar elevations in our diet, right? So we see this in women so commonly that it's predictable, right? It's like everybody, it's like so predictable. And that is something you should know. It's not you, it's this impact that we, because we're cycling females, are prone to. So if you have that, you want to definitely get your hormones checked, and also get the sugar out of your life, and then you got to heal that microbiome. It's not quite that simple, but at least do those things and you'll feel much better.